Hi, I'm Liv with CoolCleveland, and I'm here today at Sir Dickie's Tiki Bar with Dawn Olsen and her husband, Eric Olsen.
It begins like this. Basic research to cope with the space age we're living in. Concerned with utility, style, designers, engineers. New materials are the things that people really want. That's the basic problem.
We are so swell, and it's always nice to see you.
That's true.
Because this is the first time we've done this. So you guys have written a book. The anniversary of the event you wrote about is coming up.
10-cent beer night.
I always say 50 cent. Dawn, can you give us a short overview of what the book is about?
My dad and I would reminisce about the 10-cent beer night kind of every year during the anniversary. And on one long road trip, Eric and I were talking about, and I had just gotten off the phone with my dad. That had come up, and I said, "Hey, Eric, oh my God, there should be a movie about this. How could there not be a movie about this?" We first started sort of writing and thinking about it. The idea was to write a screenplay. Neither of us had any experience in, but Eric's written books before, and so he's a published author. For anybody who's from Cleveland, 10-cent beer night is one of our infamous stories of sports tales, drunken debauchery, and kind of insanity that can only happen in a city like Cleveland. And we interjected a family into the story that kind of came together during the 60s. So it's got a lot of drama, it's got a love story, a little bit of sex. They're at the game, and they're there during all of these shenanigans. And you get to see what it's like, point of view reference, as if you were there. We kind of drop you into the game. It's an adventure. It tells the story of what could have been the most deadly game in baseball, I would say.
Did you base any of the characters off of people that you actually know?
Initially, I created the characters, but Eric added a lot of color to them. I based Mike after Eric. Write what you know. As I read more about other writers and their process, I find that is very common. I did not base Vivian on me. She was certainly much more sophisticated. So I kind of made her the opposite of me. She was a cheerleader. Ooh. I did not make it on the cheerleading squad. That's okay. I was more sporty than spicy. I based her on sort of an idealized version of what I would think a girl in the 60s, early 60s, what it would be like. But the kids 100% pulled characteristics from all of our kids. That was, without a doubt, the most fun part, because each of them has these just really quirky characteristics.
It's a composite, as Dawn said. We really tried to base them, kind of ground them in Cleveland. They live in Parma. Parents are young, mature, but on the other hand, they're only 32 and they have 3 kids. The father was a baseball player and he's a left-handed pitcher. I was able to inject some of my own experience. I will say absolutely, there's no question that our character, Mike, is a much better pitcher than I was. He's on the fast track to professional ball. They think he's going to make the majors. He had to kind of drop everything, get a job. It was a big risk if he would have gone into the minor leagues. And there is a lot of me in him just in terms of some of our experiences with baseball and how we feel about baseball. And then the family, just the fact that we're parents. So we've been involved with raising 4 children. And it is a historical look at Cleveland at that time, 1974, with a bunch of drunken idiots drinking their 10-cent beers.
How do you decide the characteristics of a character that you're writing?
What I noticed, once you've established these characters, they write themselves. They tell you, would I do that? No, I would not do that. Yes, I would do that. And it can be very unexpected, like, I don't know where that came from, And it just feels right. And if you're honest with that character and you let that character speak their own voice, they'll tell you how to go.
Once I kind of had these mental ideas of who the characters were and visualized it, it was like I was just a conduit and I was just conveying the information. I don't know if other writers have had that experience, but it really felt like I was taking something that I had seen and I was just like, oh yeah, there's this thing I saw. Here it is in my mind. I'm just going to put it on paper so that everybody can see it, because if it doesn't exist, it shouldn't. it really needs to exist.
So eventually we thought, okay, we've reached the end. Yay! Oh man, no. We rewrote, edited, rearranged, and then we finally brought in other people to check this out, like very sheepishly. And the response was universally very positive, but the real writers, the serious writers, our friends who are novelists, they said, we're seeing some structural issues here, you must fix those. And it really came down to the point of view. You're only allowed a very limited number of points of view. You can only see inside the head of 2, maybe 3 characters. But we really did rearrange it so that now you're seeing it through Mike and sometimes Vivian.
And you're also, if people are looking for a more historical point of view of the same story, you just got a podcast deal.
Absolutely. Very excited about it. Podcasts are all the rage, and there's lots of books that are sold via podcast. It is dramatized. It's really fun. We had characters. I'm the narrator. We put it out on our own. It was very well received. So now we have made a deal with Cleveland's own Evergreen Podcast, and it will be coming out. I'm guessing it'll be out the week before June 4th from Evergreen, and we're very excited to be working with them. And oh boy, we're just jumping up and down and hopping up and down.
We're like lovable losers. And we're just, we get to be the butt of every joke, but hey, we have a lot of great things. We have a great orchestra. We have fanatical sports fans here. We have affordable housing. We have actually pretty good weather here.
Yay, climate change.
Yay, climate change. Ooh, boo.
Soon we'll have beachfront property.
That's right. And we have fresh water.
The North Coast.
Hey, California.
Who cares if we have Mike DeWine?
Cleveland should just finally get celebrated. Maybe it's that like a renaissance. Cleveland is such a unique town.
Is there anything you think people should know about the process of writing a book?
Yeah, there's a cliche that everyone has a novel in them, and I think that's probably true. And if you kind of just sit there and, as we said earlier, if you allow the characters, once they're established, to kind of speak for themselves, I literally think virtually every human can write a novel. But the key is you then have to take that and shape it. And that means rewriting and cutting and rewriting. And it's very hard.
Critical editing is the key to a good book and a great story.
I just want to apologize to all my editors, but I'm right and you're wrong. So this has been Cool Cleveland. Thank you for watching.
Bye.
Oh my God, we did it.
Cleveland is such a unique town.
You also have a equally unique background as a writer. You are a suppressive person.
Back in the day when Eric and I were running Blogcritics, I ended up getting handed a celebrity website. So I wrote celebrity gossip. It was so great. It was fun at first, but
in the early 2000s.
Right at the same time, the Tom Cruise book was coming out. Sort of eyes on Scientology, and I remember getting involved in this 4chan group and Anonymous. That was when they were starting to expose Scientology and just the dangerous things they do.